look familiar but can't quite put your finger on it?
Dead ahead. Enemy starfighters ahead. Let's take them out. This is Assault Gunboat Squadron View. The cruiser fighter guides are disabled. Is under attack. Command ship update. They've taken torpedo hit. One, you got a man in ring.
This is 3. I'm hit!
Report on primary target. Their shields are out. Mission critical craft. They've taken. This is 2. I'm heavily damaged. Report on primary target.
Yes, this is Star Wars TIE Fighter, but it's been brought to a more modern standard, all thanks to the TIE Fighter Total Conversion mod. For some of you, this may be ahead of your time, but TIE Fighter came out 30 years ago, in July 1994, and it made quite the splash. Welcomed by both critics and gamers, we were all able to take up arms for the Empire in a story that starts right around the Empire's victory on Hoth and can now be enjoyed again because of this mod, which we will dive into today. If this is your first time here, this channel focuses on multiplayer sim gameplay. So if you're into that, please subscribe. TIE Fighter was an interesting game because the story that the game shipped with had you play for the Empire, but not as an evildoer. Your actions were portrayed more as keeping the peace and order in a tumultuous galaxy.
The civil war that has ravaged your planets is over. It is time to lay down your arms. Join us to rebuild all that was destroyed in this savage conflict. Even now, the process of repairing your planets has begun.
All of this happening in a space flight sim that for some odd reason hasn't been able to be reproduced despite the massive monetary potential of the Star Wars IP. This game has always been one of my all-time favorites, and I was shocked when I came across this TIE Fighter Total Conversion mod. It's made by a small team, and it seems like they have gone through and updated everything. What do I mean by everything? Well, there are some things that look obvious, like the remastered soundtrack, the updated graphics, which include ray tracing, but some surprising things that have been implemented include HOTAS support, Track IR support, and even VR. Hell, even the starting menu is completely different from the original game. These guys really knocked it out of the park, and this video is to bring this great work to a wider audience. I cannot imagine how much time it must have taken these guys to bring this 30-year-old game to a more modern standard, but they have managed to do it, and that's why I made this video. I'm sure I'm not alone, but this game was one of my favorites from my childhood, and being able to revisit it while being able to enjoy the luxuries of modern-day PC gaming was a joy. Installing this thing did take quite a few steps, but it was certainly not hard. The mod has great documentation, and the base game Star Wars X-Wing Alliance is available on Steam, so I recommend you guys jump on it. This mod is also in a continued development state. They are going to be releasing version 2.0, which will include more missions in the campaign, and they are trying to flesh out multiplayer even more by making the campaign co-op. All the links can be found in the description. I thought the best way to show this off was to do a simple short mission to give you a taste.
We have chosen the Pakuni system as the place for our new installation. However, this area of space is rife with pirates and smugglers. Under Vice Admiral Thrawn, the Empire will bring order to this sector. We will start by neutralizing the pirates' main base of operations, located in a hollowed-out asteroid. The Victory-class Star Destroyer Stalwart and the modified frigate Ludwig will lead the attack. The facility is lightly defended by a handful of starfighters and 3 Corvette-class starships. TIE bomber groups are to strike the corvettes first, using proton torpedoes. Our TIE fighter and interceptor groups will provide cover by engaging enemy starfighters. Once the corvettes are eliminated, destroy the main pirate base itself and any other infrastructure you find. Intelligence reports that the Pakuni pirates are also getting protection from the rebels, so stay sharp.
Now that the briefing's done and it's set the stage, I can talk about why I picked this mission. 1, I didn't want to spoil too much of the storyline. 2, a lot of the videos of this mod online are mostly air-to-air with TIE fighters or TIE interceptors, so I thought it'd be kind of neat to do a TIE bomber mission because often you gotta ever play a TIE bomber. Each mission starts out in a hangar. Here's our interior view. And the hangar is pretty neat because it does remind you that you're just one piece of a bigger effort going on.
All pilots
and we're going to go ahead and peel out and start our mission. Again, remember the briefing said there were enemy corvettes, and the way that the corvettes work in this game, along with any of the capital ships, is they're able to shoot down some proton torpedoes. So we're going to start out here. We can see the base, which is right in front of the sun, and those blue streaks going out, those are proton torpedoes. Now, if we lock on with our proton torpedo, and you'll hear a tone, then what'll happen is the enemy, because your missile's guided, they will be able to shoot it down. So you'll see me switching from guided to unguided in order to hit. So that's a lock. And I have fired. And we're going to see if this proton torpedo makes it. I'm keeping an eye on it.
This is 4. Using your target for attack.
And we see here the shield and hull from my main sensor. The top left is my forward-facing radar, and the top right is my rear-facing radar. So I'm shooting unguided now because this thing was shooting down my guided missiles, or proton torpedoes rather. And now we can see a bunch of laser bolts heading in that direction, so probably our Star Destroyer is aiming for it. So he's cooked, going for the next Corvette. And I decided to peel off because the anti-air can get pretty thick. And just so you get a sense of scale, this mission is probably more of like a, I wouldn't say a medium-sized mission, but certainly not a small mission. It's kind of like in between. In terms of length, it's definitely a shorter mission. So we're going to keep cleaning up the Corvettes. Again, I tried guided here to see if it's going to make it. And you can see they're getting shot down on the way there. So I switched to unguided. Or I should be switching to unguided. Yep, there we go, unguided. And I actually took a hit there. So I got to peel out. If you're new to this game, one thing to keep in mind is that the Imperial fighters and the bombers are generally really maneuverable, but they have crap shields, or they generally don't even have any shields at all. So head-ons are really dangerous against the rebel ships. So we have extended, and we're going to come back. Looks like most of the Corvettes are down, and we can focus on the actual base. But I mean, this mod does a great job with like the immersion, making you think that you're part of like a bigger thing, and like the space battles are really neat. One also really cool thing about this mod is there's a quick mission builder, and you can add capital ships, fighters, bombers, corvettes, civilian aircraft, and all that. So you can make up your own, you know, like super big battles or small little interceptions. Really neat. Look, even this asteroid base has a damage model. And we go ahead and finish it off. So now we are going to head back to RTB. This was great to revisit this game. So if you're like me and want to relive your childhood, then go for it. And if you're one of the unlucky ones who were born later and never got to enjoy being able to board a flight while being able to keep your shoes on, then I encourage you to check it out because this will be a new experience for you. If you guys liked the video, please subscribe. Thanks.